Okay, welcome everyone. The Senate will now be called to order. We'll first start off with a land acknowledgement. Since this meeting is being held online, one land acknowledgement can't capture the richness of our distribution across the US and the globe. So since ASG is a body under the University of San Diego, I would like to share the land acknowledgement that is used at USD, as USD is on the Kumeyaw land. I want to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the traditional and unceded territory of the Kumeyaw Nation. I want to pay respect to the citizens of the Kumeyaw Nation, both past and present, and their continuing relationship to their ancestral lands. Thank you. The Clerk of Senate will now take roll.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, happy Thursday, everyone. One more day till Friday. Woo! I always love that day. Okay, so to first start us off, AJ Armienta. I shall come back. Alana Del Torre.
Here.
Okay. Alexa Andrade.
Here.
Angelo Tharp. I'll come back. Benjamin Tebow.
Here.
Great. Brooke Powell.
Here.
Cecilia Baron.
Here.
Thank you. Daniela Peña.
Here.
Thank you. Elena Cruz.
Here.
And I know Ezra is not here. Okay, Fantasy Bias.
Here.
Okay. Lauren Fetes.
Here.
Madeline Wu.
Here.
Max Donahoe.
Here.
Megan Womack.
Here.
Awesome. Okay. Mia Soto.
Here.
Sabrina Mendoza.
Here.
Thanks. Oh, Sean Kenny.
Here.
Thomas Riley.
Here.
Tiana Fee.
Here.
Thank you. That is all.
Thank you, Ari. Moving on to our next item, are there any motions regarding today's agenda? Lauren?
I move to approve today's agenda.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor having been seconded to approve today's agenda. Is there any further discussion? If not, please cast your votes. Amanda, can you make me the host, please? I can't lower everyone's hands, or co-host. But motion passes. Thank you. Can everyone please lower your hands? Sorry. Okay, moving on to last week's minutes. Are there any motions regarding the minutes? Fantasy? Lauren?
I move to approve last week's, or the minutes from Senate on the 25th.
Thank you, Lauren.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor having been seconded to approve the minutes from March 25th. Is there any further discussion? If not, please cast your votes. Thank you. Motion passes. As for my report, office hours, like was said 2 weeks ago now, are going to be set. So please send the clerk of Senate what office hours you'll be having as soon as possible so we can put them on the ASG website and post on ASG Instagram. And then please put them on your Google Calendar as well. And then I'm still taking topics to send to President Harris for his visit to Senate on the 29th. So if anybody has any topics, this would be a good time to let me know. Sabrina?
If we like created our Calendly, sorry, and we put in our office hours in there, can the clerk of Senate see that, or should we just email them in addition, like a link to that, or what would be best?
Ari, I feel like it's whatever you're most comfortable with.
Yeah. I've had a couple of people just kind of send me screenshots of their like calendar on their GCal of kind of like the hours that they'll be working from. So if Sabrina, you just want to do that, that works well with me. Just feel free to send them my way and I'll take care of it.
So if anyone has any other topics for President Harris, you can send me an email. If any members of the public here have any topics that you would like President Harris to address, we can talk about that as well during hearing of the public, or you can send me an email and I'll drop my email in the chat. Thank you. Moving on to reports from committee chair. And Lauren?
Sorry. I had a quick question. I was wondering if you could give a few examples of things that we could talk to President Harris about, because I don't know like what would be like his jurisdiction versus like any of like the vice presidents and things like that. If that's okay.
Yeah, honestly, I think that any sort of question would be okay to put on his radar, at least, because if he doesn't know the answer, then at least he'll know that it's something that students care about and it's on their minds, and he can share that with other admin or points of contact. So I think it's fair game for everything. He might just not know the answers, but someone else will. Jen?
Hi, everyone. Just I would agree with what Maya shared. I would say anything that you feel you would like to know that you haven't gotten an answer about yet, or anything that you feel that it would be important for him to have on his radar as he does oversee the entire university. So I think that's a fair question, Lauren, in terms of like there are vice presidents, but if there's things that still haven't been met, or you feel like you still need more from, or you want it to his attention, I would say those are appropriate types of things you can ask.
Thank you, Jen. Are there any other questions? If not, we can move on to reports from committee chairs and coordinators.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, having a little bit of issues. So currently there are no updates from the academics committee. However, we will have Danny later in the meeting talk about the pass-fail resolution.
Thank you, AJ. Since Ezra can't make it today, I'll be presenting their updates for IDE committee. So the Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Committee is launching a podcast. And so if anyone's interested in being a guest on the podcast, please email Ari at the email on screen, and feel free to ask your constituents participating. The University Center for Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Ad Hoc Committee, they're working on finding ways to support trans and gender diverse folks in housing, also working on implementing recommendations from the Campus Climate Force that was formed in October 2019, as well as the recommendations that were provided in the Black Faculty and BSU letter in the summer of 2019. And Ezra will be attending the remainder of the meetings this semester, so they should have more updates in future Senate meetings. And they're also transitioning to being a standing diversity and equity committee in the future. And also University Senate is open for students' feedback. So please reach out to Dr. Kevin Geary at the email on the screen with any questions, feedback, or concerns. And so feel free to let your constituents know about that resource as well. And then LabGrad is taking place on May 7th from 12:30 to 2 Pacific Standard Time. And LabGrads can get a lavender cord or a rainbow stole by registering at the link on the slide by April 14th. And non-LabGrads can register at that link by April 14th as well. And Ari will be including all of these links on the minutes as always. Jeff, can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. No updates from the student org committee.
Hi, everyone. We have no new updates from Student Life. Sorry, I don't think that went through the changes I made. I hope you all had a safe spring break, though, and that it was super relaxing.
Hey guys, same here. No updates this week, but I hope you all had a nice spring break.
Hey y'all. So April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So again, follow at BWellUSD and at USD Women's Commons on Instagram for information on events and as well as sign up links. Right now they have registrations links live on BWellUSD for a community wellness event. That's April 14th at 7:30 to 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. And the Take Back the Night event on April 29th at 8 to 9. And then you can also sign up for Sexual Assault Awareness Month self-care kits on the Instagram as well. And I'll send in the chat a link to their post.
Happy Thursday, everybody. So like last week, I'm still working on the database with the Office of Sustainability and the students from another class to create a good resource to support the sustainable purchasing guidelines. Also, for next fall, we've decided that we're just going to focus on purchasing through Marketplace since it's not likely that we're going to have food and caterers come on to campus. So that'll also make it easier on people to just focus on one thing while implementing this new system. Also, I highly encourage you to take the sustainability module on Blackboard. It's only 30 minutes and it's super well done. Here is the link. I think it's important to educate ourselves because we are senators and, you know, we want to lead the charge on sustainability. And the reason why it's so well done is that it not only presents the issues, but it also presents like solutions and things that you can implement in your daily life to be more sustainable. It also highlights some cool features at USD that you might want to know about. And yeah, it would make me very happy if you took the module. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so similar updates as always. I have the student support needed form. I can put the link in the chat. This is for this semester, but also anything for next year as well. So feel free to just like kind of be creative with the concerns and support that you might need. Also, like I mentioned last week, or when we had our last Senate meeting, Natural Reader got approved for all USD students. You don't have to be registered with the DLDRC. So I know that some students have emailed me with just trying to get the login information. The main email you could email is the disabilityservices@sandiego.edu email. That's on their website, the DLDRC, but I will put that one in the chat as well, along with Miguel Martinez email and even Michael Martinez. They're two directors from the office. So anyone can really help you. I can also help, but just if you need this resource, again, it's a free text-to-speech online app. So you can use it for your class materials or any articles or anything like that. If you can go to the next slide. I just have a visual representation of what the email looks like from Disability Services. So it will say Natural Reader EDU, and it most likely will come from Nicole, but in general, it will come from Disability Services. And it will basically, this email basically says, if you're registered with the DLDRC, you've gotten this email, hopefully, and it says that the Natural Reader is up and running and you just need to request it. And then the next one, if you can go to the next slide. That's the email that you'll get when they accept you or when they give you the account. And then you can push accept, or you can go to that link and then you can create your account from there. So I just want to show a visual representation just because it might get lost in like your spam or like trash. So make sure you're looking out for that if you do want it or need it. Again, you don't have to be registered with the Disability Services. It's really just for anyone who would like the speech to text. So yes, thank you. And always reach out if you have any other questions or concerns.
Thank you. Moving on to reports from ASG exec board members. Joey.
Thank you, Maya. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a nice and restful spring break. This is the last push to the end, so we got this. I know in my updates, I always look forward to when we next get our break, but you know what? Let's keep working hard. So my first update is I have scheduled a meeting with President Harris for next Wednesday, I believe. The meeting's next week, so I'll just have a discussion with him. This past Monday, Easter Monday, I met with VP Vasquez, got some updates. So with regard to COVID, last weekend, we had 0 students in isolation for the first time. That is during the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, we'd never had isolation, so we had no students to isolate. And then for commencement, I know Maya could provide a better picture with regards to this, but there are going to be multiple commencement ceremonies. The ceremony will be on Torero Field. Students will be seated on the field. And of course, the conditions are due to change when the tiers move from red to orange to yellow, or if they don't move at all, or if they get worse. So that's one thing to keep an eye out. I know y'all probably have a lot of questions with regard to commencement, but a lot of it is just subject to change with the conditions of the pandemic. So there's that. And then what was it? The Friday before spring break, the scholarship committee reached out, met. That is, we helped to form the basis of the application, as well as outreach to students who are not associated with ASG who have to serve on the committee this upcoming fall. So I have set up a meeting to get that officially formed. So that will be in the works. Shower carts are still being worked on by me. I'm still crafting them. So those should be done rather promptly. And then the VPSA search is making some ground, gaining some ground. We've put in a decent amount of work over spring break with regards to that. And I believe next Monday is going to be a pretty heavy workload for me with regards to the search for the Vice President of Student Affairs. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'll be giving Justin's updates for today, and he wanted to start off with the new class registration. And so the undergraduate curriculum committee approved several new courses for the fall. Some of these courses were formed in light of recent events. Dr. Talley's Fundamentals of Africana Studies is one of the courses, and it's available to be taken as a historical inquiry for a core requirement, I believe. And then moving on down to the March monthly report from University Senate, they had discussions about anti-racism sentiments, and more relevant to the Black faculty letter, and then the AAPI faculty statements in Senate were being talked about as well. And there was a solidarity sheet with more than 200 signatures on it. As for the COVID-19 dashboard, number of residential students in isolation and in quarantine have been added. For the most recent day that they have data. And then those are pretty much all of his announcements for today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. So for my first update, I just wanted to let y'all know that this week and next week, we have been conducting interviews for the TBB applicants and searching for our team next year. So that's very exciting. As for next Friday, 4/16, TBB is having a sustainable picnic grab and go sort of kit thing where there's very limited stuff, and there will be a I'm like going all over the place, and there will be a registration form, but basically during 5 to 7 p.m., any student who's in the San Diego area is welcome to register on the link that will be released in the Blue Buzz and our social media. And then you can come to campus between 5 to 7 p.m. next Friday, where you'll get these really cool sustainable picnic kits with a bunch of little prizes and stuff that are reusable and really cool. And then we also have partnered with USD Catering to provide just a meal, since it'll be a nice timeout and you can go anywhere on campus to have a picnic. And they also are working with us for it to be as sustainable packaging as possible while also adhering to COVID guidelines. So keep an eye out for that. Be sure to tell your friends and to register once the registration link is released. And that is all my updates.
Everyone, happy Thursday. So before I get into like real updates, I just thought I'd clarify something about elections that pertains to you all. In that, in our bylaws, specifically our election bylaws, any current member of ASG, so this is like judicial branch, exec, Senate, and TPB, no one is allowed to endorse or promote someone that is currently running. So this means that you can't like post their election flyers, you can't like campaign for them in any way. That's against the rules, and they could get in trouble with the elections committee for that. Now you can, of course, promote elections generally. So like, I think it was today that we posted a flyer about the debate and the campaign and voting for next week. You can post that, but you can't post someone's campaign flyer or any other campaign materials about them, or you can't promote them in like, I don't know, private group chats or anything like that. You can't advocate for them in any way. If that's reported to the elections committee, again, they could get in trouble for that. And then not specifically just related to members of ASG, but I thought it was also important to point out that student organizations cannot endorse a candidate themselves. So like, I don't want to name an organization, but they cannot like post your flyers or promote for you in private or publicly. However, you can go to a student organization's like meeting. Let's say they meet tonight and you ask them like, hey, can I just talk for like 2 minutes about my campaign? You can speak at their meetings. They just can't promote for you. That makes sense. If you need more clarification on that, I'm happy to answer. But yeah, everything else is responsible for the candidates to know, but I thought those were the two big things that are relevant to everyone. I'll like stop. Were there questions about what I just said? Clarification needed?
I had a question just to make sure when you say that they can be sent to the judicial branch, like potentially disqualify, can you provide more clarification on what the outcomes might be if people or orgs post for a candidate?
Yeah, the candidate could be disqualified. So let's say you win engineering senator. We don't have anyone running for that, so I'll use that position. If there are 2 people running for engineering and one of them was found to be unfairly advantaged by being promoted in these ways, they could, if the elections committee decides, to be disqualified, and so they lose.
Thank you. Fantasy?
Hi, sorry if I missed this. Just on the voting flyer, it says there's a 48-hour voting window, April 14th and 15th. But I thought it was the 15th and 16th. Okay, sorry, Amanda. I see you're nodding your head, but yeah. Just making sure I didn't get it wrong on mine.
Yeah, it's Thursday and Friday. If that was wrong, then we can correct it, but yeah. Any other questions?
Fantasy, do you have any other questions? No?
Okay, so I'll move on to my actual updates now, but you can feel free to email me if you have any more. So just wrap this up really quickly. The presidential debate is Wednesday, as we've mentioned, 1 to 2. It'll be recorded and put on YouTube. So if you have class at that time, perfectly fine. You can watch it afterwards. And voting is, as I just said, Thursday and Friday. So spread the word and whatnot. Regarding appointed positions, the judicial and exec applications are still open until April 15th. So spread the word about that. Or if you're interested yourself, please apply. And for the bylaws and constitutions, they're all getting wrapped up very quickly. The student org committee bylaws are very close to being done. The judicial bylaws are with general counsel right now being reviewed. So that's like the literal last step. And then the constitution is pretty close to being done, but, or it's pretty much done, but the entire student body has to vote on those amendments. And so I'm trying to wait until they vote for, the next ASG before they vote on the constitution, so that they're not voting on too much at once. And that's all.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I had no updates for me for this week. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I hope everyone had a restful spring break and that you're ready to push through the next couple of weeks. So just a few updates in regards to Instagram. We have some exciting posts coming up. They're also going to go up via the Blue Buzz. So just keep your eye out. I think you'll enjoy them. And then in regards to sweatshirts, all sweatshirts have been shipped and delivered, so please enjoy them. Let me know if you have any suggestions that I can let the PR chair know next year. That'd be greatly appreciated. And then our marketing committee will be meeting tomorrow, so if you have any requests, please send them your way to us. And then new content will be coming up, so thank you to those again who sent in requests. And we'll be again focusing on website edits. So if you have any updates that you'd like to see on those websites, please let us know. And on Blue Buzz and our Instagram, the ASG update survey went live. So you can, I'll drop the link in the chat actually, but you can check out our Instagram or Blue Buzz again if you want access to it. Those who answer and participate in the survey will be eligible to win a $25 gift card. So yeah, that's all I have for you today.
Again, everybody, happy Thursday. As always, if you're a member of the public and would like to receive Grubhub credits, please put your email in the chat. And one more thing I wanted to mention about Grubhub is that sometimes some glitches arise, unfortunately more often than we'd like. And this can sometimes result in some people having credits taken away from their accounts for the meetings that they did attend. I realize that, or everyone's been doing a great job of reaching out to me when this happens. I still encourage you to do so. But the thing about this is that it's kind of random. So if it does happen again in the future, just keep reaching out to me and I'll get these solved. After this meeting, I'm going to go in because this happened again with a few other people. So if you realize that you're missing a few credits for some of the meetings that we had in the past, like Senate meetings or whatever it may be, again, just make sure to reach out to me and I'll get those to you as quickly as possible. And then moving on to the ASG and TVB Stoles Google form. For those of us graduating this semester, we're going to get the Stoles here pretty soon. Pretty much all of us have gotten these Google form and filled it out. If you haven't already, or if you haven't done so already, please make sure you take some time to do that pretty soon, because I need to know just the logistics of getting these Stoles to people. And then lastly, for the ASG award nomination coming this Friday, as you all know, we have our end of the year banquet coming up. And with that being said, we have the awards nominations form that we have to give out to everybody. And so this form is a little bit more extensive. It's probably gonna take a little bit more time than the other short Google polls I bombard you all with. So this one I'm sending out tomorrow, and then I'm gonna give like a week and a half because there's a little bit more time to spend to do this. So about a week and a half, and moving forward, I'm sorry, this will be important for moving forward for the banquet. So please do try your best to have this done within a week or week and a half. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Moving on to our next line item under new business. It's my understanding that when Chief Miyashiro attended our Senate a couple weeks back, that there were questions around the process of reporting hate crimes and acts of intolerance at USD and any sort of data the department has on it. So Chief Miyashiro has kindly made time out of his schedule to talk more about that today. So Chief Miyashiro, the floor is yours.
Think you're muted, Chief.
Sorry about that. Anyway, I was saying it was nice to see everybody back again from spring break. And what I want to do first is kind of go over the difference between what a hate crime is and what an act of intolerance is. And in order to have a hate crime, you have to have two elements. One is there has to be a crime. So you have to have some sort of crime that's involved. And it has to be motivated or based on a prejudice or a bias based on race, religion, sexual orientation. And those components make it a hate crime. Everything else, if it's something that offends someone, if it's something that's offensive, whether it's words, whether it's somebody wrote something or posted something, those are going to fall under acts of intolerance. And here at USD, we have, looking at our Clery stats from 2017 to 2019, we had a hate crime that we classified as a hate crime in 2019. And that's it. And so 2017 and 2018, we didn't have any. 2020 currently we have, which is last year, but we report that data in 2021. We actually only had one that we classified as a hate crime as well. And that occurred off campus, which is in line because we weren't really on campus in 2020. But that's kind of the definition of a hate crime. And we don't have a lot of them here at on the campus. Oops, hold on real quick. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I for some reason I hit the wrong key and I can't see anybody. I logged out for a second, but that's fine. But anyway, I didn't know if there's any specific questions you wanted me to answer.
Can you walk us through the process of reporting a hate crime or act of intolerance and the timeline on that?
Sure. What happens, and just in 2019, we had a task force that specifically looked at the processes of hate crimes. We came up with some new things. And one of the new things we came up with is our website now allows you to report hate crimes directly. You can either report it directly to us and be a victim, or you can report it as a witness, or you can report it anonymously as well. And what happens is when we get that crime, when we get that information, we take it and we meet with the police department on it. If it's something that we're kind of trying to decide, is this a hate crime or is this going to be an act of tolerance? We take it down to San Diego Police Department and we meet with them. We also have a partnership with the district attorney's office, and they have a hate crime unit assigned to San Diego. So they also review it, and we'll make a determination if it's going to be classified as a crime or if it's just going to be an act of intolerance. Either way, we still document it. And what happens is if it's a non-criminal incident, we take a report, we'll determine if what type of notification needs to be done, whether it's going to be a Clery warning or if it's going to be something that comes from administration here at USD. And then from there, we contact the victims and we provide them with any type of resources that we have that are available to us. And then we'll investigate it as far as we can to determine if we can stop this. And let me give you some examples. A lot of times we'll get information about somebody that had put forward some type of hate speech or something that they posted online. So we get a lot of online requests. When we get those requests online, what we usually do is if it's tied to a USD account, obviously it's easy for us to investigate because we can go to our IT department, find out where it came from, and we can cut it off. We can also meet with whoever sent it. If it comes from outside USD, it's a little bit more difficult. Sometimes we get the IP addresses and we can go down and we can look into it further. If we can't look into it any further, then our IT department will block those that IP address from entering the USD domain. So that will cut that off as well. And then if it's a criminal matter, what happens is, again, we take the initial report and then we forward our report to San Diego Police Department, and we work with San Diego Police Department to either do further investigation on it, or sometimes they'll take it over and they'll do some additional investigation as well and move forward with any type of criminal activity or criminal prosecution that may take place.
Thank you. Is there a typical timeline for that?
Unfortunately, no, because it kind of depends on if it's something that we have a suspect information on, it's going to be faster. If it's something that we don't, we have to do investigation. The case could remain open until we have some more or some additional information. So there's really no time specific amount of time on it. If it's something that occurred that's not a hate crime, that's more of an act of intolerance, those are usually quicker, and we'll start working with IT and to either, again, to stop the phone call coming in or the emails or whatever's coming through our servers. Those are easier to cut off, and that's usually within a week or so at the most.
Thank you. Lauren?
Yeah, I know our members of the public can't speak, so I'm going to read this comment if that's okay.
Sure.
Are hate crimes only considered as such when it's inflicted on an individual? Because if I'm not mistaken, there have been multiple instances where groups of people are targeted by public actions of hate. An example being the White at USD Instagram page.
Yeah, and it can be groups. It doesn't have to be a specific individual. So if it's a group, we will take it on behalf of an entire group of individuals.
I had a question regarding next semester, if it is a hybrid or in-person learning environment. Is there any sort of, as what precautions are in place to protect Asian students on campus and off campus, especially with the rise in hate crimes towards the AAPI community?
If we do have in-person classes, right at this time, we haven't planned on any type of special program to protect anyone. But if there's anything that comes up that we're aware of, we work with San Diego PD as well as FBI. We have a real good communication with both those agencies. So if they come in and they tell us that, hey, there's specific people that could be targeted or anything else, then we will kind of heighten our awareness and do more to identify if there's anybody that's doing anything that could be suspicious or looks improper. But at this time, we don't have any reason to believe that we're going to have any type of targeting of anyone.
Building off a previous senator's question, were there any changes in protocol for public safety department after the White at USD incident?
There weren't any protocol changes from us. Again, that was one that was done through an online server, and I believe we put out messaging on that as well as to how to lock accounts and how to not make it so easy for people to have access to you as to anyone. And that's just a situation where that's still an open case because we were never able to find out who actually sent that, who started those emails and who sent those emails. So that's still kind of an open case.
Does anyone have any other questions for Chief Miyakiro at this moment? Lauren?
Yeah, another comment from the public. What is the process like when there is a hate speech by a professor? And specifically, are there any updates on Tom Smith?
Yeah, at this time, I don't have any updates on him. And there is a procedure. If it involves a faculty member or a staff member, or anybody from the university, what happens is it goes through DPS, from DPS department, and then it goes to HR, and HR would determine, what actions they're going to take. If it's something that's a criminal matter that we need to immediately take action, then that person will be removed from campus.
So would it only be for those criminal matters when it's involving faculty member? Would the San Diego Police Department get involved?
Yes, they'll get involved, and it not only a faculty member, but even if it was involving a student, they'll still get involved. So if we have a suspect, and let's say it was a student that did something, San Diego PD again will get involved, and they'll take action to either arrest that individual, or we could take action from a disciplinary action from the university to have that person removed as well.
Thank you. Sabrina?
I just like a question about the data, because for example, I know with the law school, students were like doing formal complaints for 3 weeks, and they didn't really have any communication until they just like the law dean said, hey, we wanted to inform you that your complaint has been referred to the university for review. So just like my question is there a way you guys are actively working to make yourselves like make it more accessible for students' voices to be amplified when they know about concerning behavior?
Yes, and I think the easiest way again is our website, to just go to the online reporting form and fill that out. And again, it can be anonymously, and we'll still look into it and make sure that the incident's documented and that we have a record of it.
Lauren?
Yeah, what can be done if, like, say you're in a course that isn't being recorded on Zoom, but like there is hate speech like being spoken and microaggressions from a professor, then what would be like the procedure for that?
I would definitely report that online, and then we'll follow up and have a talk with the professor to find out, what was said, and try to document it through interviewing other people in the classroom. And then also, if it's something that is inappropriate, we'll let the dean know of that division so that they can speak with the professor. And again, it goes to HR as well as our Title IX department. So all of those things would be looked at to see, the scope of it.
Sabrina?
Is there any way you guys could, I don't know, create like work with the CEE or something to help create some type of like phrasing about your website and what students can do when they notice something like an act of intolerance or a hate crime and how they can report it? Because I feel like I know you have the website, but students might not just always know about it, might not know where it's at. And so if it's in their syllabi for their different classes, and their professors are able to also just know that that's the website, I think that'll really help it become more accessible, because I know the website exists and I know some people know about it, but not everyone does. And I just get concerned that because people don't know about it, they keep it to themselves.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I would like to get the word out more, because we do have a lot of good information or resources attached to our website. So maybe orientation, new student orientation, we can add that to it so we can talk a little bit more about the website. The other thing that we could possibly do is add it to my mobile San Diego app. We have our our public safety information contained in the app, but maybe having a link to the website as well, so that if there's something that comes up that is not on the app, they can click on the link and go directly to the website. So that's a good idea.
Are there any other comments, questions, feedback for Chief Miyashiro? Lauren?
Just thank you for coming and speaking with us, and we always appreciate your time. And thank you for answering our questions so honestly.
Sure, no problem.
If there are no other questions, then Lauren?
Another comment from the public. Is it up to the discretion solely of CS whether to label something as an act of intolerance or hate crime, and who is in that process?
Yeah, it's not up to, if it's something that is obviously a hate crime, we'll label it a hate crime right off the bat. If it's something that we're not sure about because it's borderline, and when I say borderline, it would be obviously vandalism is a crime. So if it's a vandalism, and let's just say one that we get all the time are the sticker campaigns where people post stickers of different things. Technically, that's not a vandalism because it can be removed, but sometimes it does cause damage. So that's kind of one of those that are on the fence. And if it's something that causes that could go either way, we contact San Diego PD, and if San Diego PD says it could go either way, we'll contact the DA's office. And what happens is when we contact the district attorney's office, they'll tell us if other universities had similar type of incidents. And we found out I think it was 2 years ago, that UCSD also had the same person that had been on their campus ended up coming to our campus and posting some things. So in that type of scenario, because they've been to multiple campuses, they actually have some intent they could show, and because it did cause some damage, we can go ahead and work with the district attorney to classify that as a hate crime. So the decision isn't 100% up to us, because again, we'll pass it on if we're not sure. If it's something that we know for sure is not a hate crime, we'll let the person know that this is going to be classified as an act of intolerance. And but most of the time we do work in conjunction with the San Diego PD and the district attorney's office for determining which one's going to be what.
I had one other question about how often does your department go through your procedures and protocols, and is there like a process in terms of revamping it or reviewing the protocol that you have set in place, or does that happen annually, or how often does that happen?
It actually happens annually. We go through all our processes each year. So we'll go through our crime reporting. We'll go through our identifying different types of acts of intolerance and hate crimes. And it's a training that we do every year also with our officers. And then also because we participate in all the training from San Diego PD for our hate crimes, every year officers take a hate crime class with San Diego PD. So we also, can ask questions or confirm with them to make sure that we're reporting things and we're on the same page with them as far as what their expectations are for reporting hate crimes.
Thank you. Are there any other groups brought in to get their perspective or feedback on the current protocols during this review process, or does it all happen internally?
It happens internally. But, I'm open for it. I know I've been on our new diversity and inclusion, a couple of the meetings that they've had. I've been invited to those. And then I know that some of the members from ASG that are on my public safety advisory board, they're also making some recommendations. So we're going to kind of combine everything we can. And, if we need to make any adjustments, we will. And whatever makes the procedure easier so that people can report it, I think, I'm all in favor for.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, comments? If not, thank you so much, Chief, for coming today.
Sure. Bye.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the discussion of the extended pass-fail resolution. Danny, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Is it okay if I share my screen really quick? Okay, first of all, hi everyone. So based on the suggestions from last Senate, I made some adjustments to the pass-fail resolution. Maya, I believe, just posted the link in the chat and I can scroll through again for everyone to read. The highlighted pieces are what has been added, so. So does anyone have any questions or further suggestions? If there are no questions, are there any motions?
Lauren?
I move to approve the extended pass-fail resolution.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor, have been seconded to approve the extended pass-fail resolution. Is there any further discussion? If not, please cast your votes. Thank you. Motion passes. The resolution has been approved. Thank you, Danny. Great. Okay, so moving on to final business and hearing of the public. At this time, any senator may take from the table any motion previously laid on the table in the meeting 2 weeks before, or present urgent business. Any member of the public may voice any concerns to the assembly on non-agenda items. Lauren?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if any progress was made on the ask that we had from the student about like groundwork during dead hours. We had it a few weeks ago.
Oh, the construction. Yeah. Okay. I don't think that there's been any, I haven't heard any updates. I don't know if anyone else on exec has. or any other senators or advisors, but I personally haven't heard anything. Alana,
I was gonna move to adjourn today's meeting.
are you moving to adjourn or are you going? Is that what you're doing?
I'm moving to adjourn today's meeting.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor, having been seconded to extend today's meeting. Justin,
I had a separate thing that has nothing to do with this motion. So
okay. You can say after, if depending on how the motion goes. Lauren,
Oh, I was wondering if for discussion I could just let Justin talk, but we have to deal with it first, so.
okay, so there is a motion on the floor that was seconded. Is there any further discussion on this motion specifically? If not, please cast your votes. Motion passes. So the meeting has been adjourned. Justin, you can talk.
oh, okay. Thank you, everyone. Sorry to take up a little bit more time. University Senate ended early, so I just had a couple updates that I think may be relevant. In regards to things that happened in University Senate on April 6th, if you all recall, I brought up how University Senate was going to remove all gendered language from the USD policy manuals. On April 6th, Dr. Harris just approved that motion, so that will start to go into place. On the faculty side, when 403B contributions were lowered, they were raised to 6% this month, so that's about half. And so Dr. Harris will be working with the Board of Trustees to try to reinstate it back to the full 12% in May. There's been correspondence, there will be correspondence going out either later today or next week in regards to the orange tier and how it'll impact California and the University of San Diego, as well as the rest of the semester. For professors who have been approved for hybrid teaching, they will have the option to return by April 12th. But that's all that we know so far. And like I mentioned, an update will go out. And then as far as commencement stuff that was added in University Senate, there wasn't really much different other than what the graduates received, but pretty much each graduate will have 2 tickets. There may be as many as 8 ceremonies in the 2 weekends scheduled for commencement. Moving into orange tier doesn't really impact commencement just because it's going to be in Torero Stadium this time. They did just announce that no faculty, administrators, or staff will participate in the platform committee. This is because of the spacing requirements. The faculty and staff can participate through live streaming. However, they won't be able to actually be there like a normal commencement. And if a faculty has a spouse or child graduating, they can sign up to be one of their 2 tickets. And then last thing, I mentioned that the first round of summer class sessions will definitely be remote. However, based off of the trend of Governor Newsom's plans, they think that the second session of summer classes may be in person. But that's pretty much all. Thank you for staying a little bit longer.
Ari, you don't have to raise your hand anymore. We're not in Senate, so everyone can just talk if you want.
Sorry, it's just a habit at this point. So for, sorry for the background noise. So Justin, I know that there is a couple of classes that are 3 weeks. It's like from the 2nd to the 20th of August. Would that possibly be in person?
That's a really good question. Right now, so with everything going on, they're sort of like we're just gonna see what happens. The
Mhm.
only thing that's concrete is first session is definitely remote. Like that is already for certain. And then it's like sort of playing it by ear. So the next possibility is that the second session could be in person, including the dates that you just mentioned, Ari. But as of right now, it's still ambiguous. All we know is that it is not for sure remote. That's still the first session.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
So that's it. Meeting's adjourned.